Oh, hey girl, how's it going? Welcome to the audio podcast. I'm Lindsay. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm wearing my intergalactic shirt today because we are talking today about the energetics of the planets and how we can work with the natural energetics of the world that we live in and our internal energetics, aka our menstrual cycle, and how it all plays together. This is a great episode for anyone who is curious about how to be a mom, do it all, be a woman in a man's world, whatever it is. We are going to learn how to honor our physical bodies and the natural rhythms of the world that we live in. So let's get to it. We're going to first go over the days of the week. So Monday is associated with the moon, and the moon is associated with intuition, slowing down, the body, being more reflective. This is really a day not to hustle and bustle and meeting back to back meetings. And if you have to, which is really the essence of what I'm going to talk about today, like sort of being misaligned with these energies because we have not been honoring these types of philosophies in our waking life. So when we are in the midst of, say, at work, back-to-back meetings, taking the time in between meetings to sip on tea, stay hydrated, drink water, journal, like take a few deep breaths, meditate, take a long walk at lunch, take it easy. You may be in the midst of like a tornado on in your external world, but your internal world, you absolutely have the ability to slow down. You do not need to keep up with the mania and franticness of corporate or wherever you are of people trying to get things done because, it's Monday. You can really just slow down and say, okay, I'm tracking everything that's going on right now, but internally, my attention is really to how I'm feeling, how my body feels. Am I tired? What do I need to do to prepare myself for the week? How can I prepare myself Monday to handle the rest of the week? That's the mentality. That is the mentality that we should really have on Mondays. Tuesdays is energetically connected to Mars. Tuesday is the day to get things done. Tuesday is the day that you're going to be active, driven, assertive. You're going to harness that desire, utilize that willpower, have the courage to have difficult conversations. The things that you normally wouldn't want to do during the week, Tuesday is the day to do it, not Monday. So you're going to want to do the hard things that you have the natural energy to take care of on Tuesday. Wednesday is all about Mercury. Mercury is associated with communication. It's associated with thinking. It's associated with connecting with people. You want to think writing, production, producing the things that you need to produce, writing emails, speaking, creating content. Mercury is a fast moving planet. And it's funny because the hump day always kind of gets lost in the mix. And that makes sense from a Mercury perspective. Thursday is related to the planet Jupiter. Think expansion. Thursdays are an amazing day to tap into your vision of what you want, whether it's for the week, whether it's for the month. If you really want to harness the energy of manifestation on Thursdays, treat it like a new moon. Like on the new moon, you typically journal about the things that you want to create in your life. Thursday has that sort of new moon energy of you're in a position to expand. You're in a position to sell. You're in a position to vision what you want your life to look like. Friday I'm in love is related to the planet Venus. And Venus is all about beauty and pleasure and intimacy. It is the perfect night for date night. Everyone's like, oh, Saturday night for date night. No, Friday night for date night. Friday night for date night is so hot. You want to change date night to Friday. I try to have this conversation with my husband, and he's like, well, I really like to go out for Saturday nights. And I'm like, okay, like Friday nights are better to go out for date night. It's just sexier. Like working, it's the work week. You have something to look forward to at the end of the day. But on Friday during the day, it's not really the time to grind. It's really the time to express and to create and to be creative and to take care of yourself. So Friday, in regards to the work week, is a really good day to sort of like bundle everything up so that for the weekend, you can sort of compartmentalize where you are and, tighten up the week in your creative way, in whatever way that looks. Because as professionals, we know that our work is our creativity. Even if it's not creative, we have creative ways that we approach our work. So on Friday, I really want you to take a self-care approach to bundling up your work week, thinking about it creatively, feeling inspired by it, and like making a beautiful package ready to be opened on, Monday and Tuesday. Saturday and Sunday are days that are so powerful. I think usually after a long work week, Saturday, we're just like, to be able to take a breath. Even Friday after work, like just taking a breath. I had a boss that would work Saturday, and I was like, oh, he's so disciplined. I don't know like how he's doing that, but actually is very aligned with the energetics of Saturday. Saturday is associated with Saturn, and Saturn is associated with discipline, structure, and boundaries, which is not really what you would think about with it for a Saturday. But if you were serious about your life, if you were serious about making change, if you were serious about your inner growth and just like firing on all cylinders, being awesome, Saturday is the day to have boundaries. Saturday is the day to have structure. We want to give the things that need attention, while also not just being like, oh, it's Saturday, I can do whatever I want. Like have that structure to your day. Sunday is the day associated with the sun. This is a day for rest, integration, self-expression. They don't call it the sun salutation in yoga for nothing. It is a devotional day. It is a devotional practice to the sun. The sun keeps us alive. The sun, it feeds us on so many different levels, visually, physically, energetically, in all of the ways. And we really want to take Sunday to devote to ourselves, to devote to how we are integrating with our external worlds. It's not a day to rush around. It's not a day to party. It's a day to really get introspective and to express yourself. Now, what I want to talk about is how these energetics bleed into, without overwhelming you, the energetics of the menstrual cycle. So there are 4 phases of the menstrual cycle. There's the bleed, which is menstruation. There's the follicular phase. There's the ovulation phase, which is the shortest phase. And then there's the luteal phase. And as you get older, the luteal phase feels longer and longer and longer and longer. So I'm going to describe the menstrual cycle phases in relation to the days of the week so that we can again, comb through the energetics of the days of the week so that you kind of remember and learn more. We're going to double down on this concept. So day 1 of your period, menstruation day, the day that you actually bleed. This is associated with the moon phase. This is associated with a Monday. So this is the day where you really want to pay attention to your body. You really want to go inward. You really want to respect your boundaries. This is not a day to hustle and bustle. This is not a day to get things done. Even though your energy may be a mix of like, I'm exhausted, but mentally I'm starting to feel more clarity. Take the day to physically acknowledge that you are exhausted. Try not to work out on your period. They say, oh, you shouldn't do inversions on your period. Forget about inversions. Just don't work out on your period. Give your body a chance to bleed. It's bleeding. Give it a chance to rest. So the menstruation period is anywhere from day 1 to 5, depending on how long you bleed. The follicular phase is actually starts from day 1, which is that mental clarity that we start to get as we bleed. And that breath of relief, like, oh my God, I thought I was going to explode. And then we bleed and we're like, oh, I feel like everything is okay again and manageable. Those are days 1 through 13. The follicular phase is like the fun phase. We are feeling inspired. It's more like the spring phase. You want to think about that in terms of Wednesdays, that inner spring vibe. Wednesdays again are associated with the planet Mercury. So you're talking, you're connecting, you're writing, you're thinking, you're doing all the things, you're making moves. You're inspired on a mental level. Then days, ovulation is around day like 13, 14, and it's one day, but it is like almost like a mini period. Like your egg is released. And if it's not fertilized, it leads to menstruation. If it is fertilized, you get pregnant. So right in the middle of your cycle, day 14, you have the ovulation phase. And this phase is like the phase where you're like sexy to your partner or whatever. You're super sexy. You're looking beautiful. It is biologically meant to be that way so that we attract sperm to have a baby, to procreate. This phase is associated with Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday is Mars, where we're activated, we're driven, we're out about, we're out in the town. And Friday, which is about beauty and self-expression and intimacy and pleasure. So when we think about the ovulation phase, we're thinking about Mars and Venus, Tuesday and Friday, type 5s. This is like our inner summer. This is when we are hot to trot. This is when we are at our most powerful and magnetic. And it is one day, guys, one day. And then comes the luteal phase. And this phase is your inner autumn. As you get older and come into perimenopause, that is just like a little bit of a bummer phase. But once we utilize it correctly and our energy is lower and we recognize that it's time to go inward, it's that Saturday, Sunday vibe where we want to have like the sort of inward attention to our inner goals, our vision, our structure, what supports us. That is the luteal phase. We really have to respect that our energy dips in this phase and not hit the gym as hard with the kettlebells and the HIIT classes and the hot yoga. Like these are the classes to have where you're doing like yin yoga, like cardio, walks, not heavy, intense workout sessions. And it's a time the luteal phase is from day 15 through the end of your cycle, which is a lot. Guys, it's like half of our cycle. So if you think about it in terms of where we are in, the patriarchy and how we function in corporate and in the world, we are built to be working in our follicular and ovulation phases all the time. But in reality, that's only half of our cycle. The other half is very introspective. The other half, we have to honor our energies, our level of energy, that it dips, that the emotions that come up, the cravings that we want, the unmet desires that are expressing themselves in, oh, you're just PMSing. No, it's actually an unmet desire. Or it's imbalanced hormones. I would also suggest if you are in perimenopause, go to a functional medicine doctor and have them run your panel and Take hormones if you need. Like, look at your estrogen and look at your progesterone and ask questions, because as we get older, there's no need for us to suffer anymore, because it's just going to kind of get more and more intense until menopause. So just do yourself a favor and slow down. Recognize the second half of your cycle is not meant to stop, but it's meant to be a little bit more pensive. Take a little bit more of a back seat. Be a little bit more respectful of your energy levels. And then again, when you bleed, you want to just day one again, you want to just be respectful of that day one bleed on a physical level. So why I'm talking about this is that it's not so easy to just be like, okay, I'll honor the energies of the planets and my menstrual cycle, because we're living in a world that doesn't support that. However, with the knowledge of what we want to honor, we can step into more of an awareness of how to honor it. And even if we honor it in small ways, those small ways create greater capacity. And when we create greater capacity around our desires and the things that we want, our external world falls into place around it. That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how manifestation works, because our energy meets our desires and our external world meets our desires. So if you found this episode helpful, give me a like, give me a follow. You can find me on Instagram. I love that you're here. I love recording once a week for you ladies. You're all over the world, and I'm so excited to see how many people tune in, and I love it. I love it, and I love you. So honor those energies, and I'll see you next week.